había logrado tal hazaña. Nosotros seguimos aquí estando a la espera de los ganó por la vía de forma en una de las peleas que se pasaron por Fox.
Hello. All right. What a night, huh? Was that amazing, guys, or what? Holy shit. So let's do the money first here, okay? Fight of the night, if I need to say it, Melendez versus Sanchez might be the fight of the I don't know what. Knockout of the night was Dodson, and submission of the night was Ferguson. And because of their union representative, Tim Bosch, $60,000 bonuses tonight.
Thank you, Tim.
The attendance tonight was 17,238 people. The gate was 2.5 million. And to give you an idea of how amazing Houston is and how good Houston has been to the UFC, I tweeted it earlier, you probably saw it, but I'll say it again. The #1 grossing event of all time here at the Toyota Center was UFC 66. #3 was tonight, and #5 was the other event here. I don't remember what number it was. So #1 is the UFC. #2 is the Rolling Stones. #3 is the UFC. #4 is Madonna, and #5 is the UFC. We love Houston. I'm going to go over something real quick, and then I'll let you guys answer some questions. Oh, two things. Wahlberger, all of his tests came back negative. He is fine. He was discharged, went to dinner, and he is good. And Bosch's eye is fine, too, so just so you guys know. In celebration of our 20th anniversary, we have an unbelievable documentary that was made about the history of the UFC, and it's going to air November 5th on Fox Sports 1. It's really, really good. I'm very proud of it, and I think a lot of people, even the guys who started the UFC, are going to be very proud of this documentary. I feel like the guys who started the UFC come off as bad guys a lot, and the story is amazing. Many of you know it, but it's another thing to hear it. November 5th on Fox Sports 1. And beginning Monday, October 28th, we are doing a 20-day to UFC 167 campaign. Obviously, UFC 167 is when we're celebrating the 20th anniversary, and it begins Monday, October 28th in Denver, the site of UFC 1, and concludes November 16th in Las Vegas. We'll be visiting nearly 24 cities for press tours, appearances, military-based visits, cross-promotion with other sports teams, and doing all kinds of cool stuff for the fans. And we're going to be in Philadelphia, Chicago, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Cleveland, Atlanta, Raleigh, North Carolina, Torrance, California, Concord, California, Rosemead, California, San Francisco, St. Louis, New Orleans, San Antonio, Pittsburgh, Montreal, Dallas, Los Angeles, New York, and Phoenix. In addition, we're launching a worldwide social media scavenger hunt where fans can win all kinds of UFC prizes, merchandise, and other free shit. That's it. Who's first? Kane is doing the Fox interview right now, and he'll be here in a few minutes. And I'm assuming Junior Dos Santos went to the hospital. I hope he did.
For Daniel, please. Obviously, you had kind of an interesting night here. In addition to having the fight to come out in corner 10 minutes later, talk about your experience this evening.
It was good, man. I thought I fought a good fight. I was able to use my strategy that we went into the fight with and get a good win over a tough guy, and then to go back and corner Kane and be a part of him defending his championship against the toughest guy in the division was that was real special to me. It means a lot to me that he has the belief in me to think that I would be okay after my fight to go back and corner him right away. So it's confidence in what he feels that I see, and I also did my highlight at the Fox desk too. I called my own highlight. Yeah, that was cool. You like that, huh? Yeah.
Nice work. And you mentioned, obviously, that in your move to 205, a title shot is on your mind, but you know that there's probably going to be a step or two in between. Do you have an idea of whether it be a name or a level of opponent that, where you think the right start for be in that division?
Well, I mean, I'm 34 years old, man, so I have to get moving. Listen, I can ask. I mean, I wanted a Nintendo when I was growing up, and my mom just said no. So I can ask Dana for a title shot, and all he can say is no. And then maybe he just gets tired of me asking and goes, "Okay, DC, now leave me alone." But I just want to fight when the division's moving. Before I was really kind of knocking, let me fight. And then the division moved on. No division waits for anyone but the champion. So it moved on. I just want to be in line when the rest of those guys are fighting. When Jones is fighting, when Gustafson's fighting, when the rest of those guys are fighting, I want to be fighting one of those guys.
Thank you. And for Gilbert, if I could, please, obviously, congratulations on your win. Incredible fight tonight. Can you tell us kind of what was going through your mind as the fight was going on? Did you have the feeling that you were involved in something special? And, how did you, stay out of the brawls? Obviously, he wants to brawl with you, and you were trying to keep it a little more technical.
Yeah, no, it was a tough fight. It's kind of hard to, put everything in perspective while you're fighting, I think I stood in there and banged it out with them as well, too. But I knew how to keep my feet moving. But, it was a great fight. I knew I was ahead on the scorecards. Diego's a good fighter, but I was happy with everything.
And for Diego as well, if we could get your thoughts on it. Obviously, I'm sure you wanted to pick up the victory, but it's kind of another chapter in your legacy. What did you think of the performance? And are you worried or getting into brawls like that? There's people saying, "Hey, how many more of these can this guy take?"
Oh no, I don't know. I was built for this fighting stuff, and I'm 31 years old, and I'm just feeling primed. I had a good time. I had fun out there with Gilbert. I've been waiting. Those are the type of fights that you wait for your whole career, because when you're an old man, you're gonna look back and you're like, yeah, that was fun. And I gave the fans an amazing, entertaining fight, and that's what I do it for. I fight for the fans and this sport. And I've been around this month. It will be 9 years in UFC, and I just love this company. I love this organization, and every time I get to touch the canvas on my feet, I'm just very grateful. And I take my hat off to Gilbert. I really, truly believe he's the number one lightweight in the world. I thought he was the uncrowned champ going into this fight. I thought he beat Benson Henderson, and he avenged his other 2 losses too. So he's one of the best in the world. And hey, Rocky didn't get the decision in the first fight, but hey, you know what? He dropped him, and I dropped him, and I felt it was close to being a draw. I don't know. I got some good takedowns, and the fight was close. They gave him the unanimous decision, but I thought the fight was closer. Thought it could have been a draw, and that's one of those fights where you need 5 rounds for 2 warriors to really dig deep and go to the finish. And that's about it. Sorry.
First of all,
He hasn't been to one of these in a while. He wants to talk.
Yeah, I rambled a little bit. I'm sorry.
First of all, just congratulations to everybody on a perfect night. I mean, it was an honor to be here and everything. Dana, have you ever considered giving a doctor a bonus? Because for letting that fight continue with that cut over Diego, I mean, that third round doesn't happen 2 out of 3
Yeah,
doctors.
no, I agree. And I think that I actually think that fight, I gave Gilbert 2 rounds to 1. There's no way that you give Gilbert the last round.
No offense,
Gilbert.
Gilbert.
He had 29-27. It's crazy. But that's what happens when you leave it in the hands of the judges. And one of the things that I think happened tonight with Diego, Diego's been out for a while with injuries, and everybody's questioning where Diego belongs in the division, and is he still here? He comes right in and fights the number 2 guy in the world and proved tonight. Diego Sanchez is never out of any fight. He's one of the things that I love when we talk about Mexican fighters, I mean, that was a Mexican World War in there tonight. That's one of those. These are 2 guys that just move forward and keep swinging and it's just awesome, man. And in the 13 years of being in this company, we've seen some amazing fights. I don't think I've ever seen a fight like that. The fight was insane, and being here in Houston and the crowd tonight was just everything about it was. I mean, I don't ever go into the octagon for the earlier fights. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going in there. I went in there and talked to both these guys. Then I ran over to you guys in the media. I was like a fucking little kid tonight after that fight. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Dan, I got some questions for you about the main event, but first, DC. It seems like Glover might be lined up for Bones next. I mean, what about Gustafson for you? I mean, I think that's a perfect way for you to head into 205, and I think that's your closest, your quickest route to the title would be going through Gustafson.
Okay. In America.
Yeah, only in America.
In America.
And
Let's fight here.
His next fight's over there.
You see, no. God dang it, dude, you just set me up.
Hey, man.
No, I'm just laying out the facts.
I can't wait to
This
see
guy's
that
going to
fight.
send me to Sweden. Thank you, guy. You're going to send me to freaking Sweden.
Hey, the beautiful women in Sweden, brother.
Hey, man, my girlfriend's back there. You better be careful before she kicks your ass.
What happens in Sweden? And then about the main event, DC, you can comment on this as well. I mean, you were in Kane's corner. I mean, in the I believe it was the third or the fourth round when Dos Santos was literally, it looked like he was out on his feet, sort of what Anderson Silva does on
Are you talking
purpose.
to me?
But yeah, I'm talking
okay.
to you, Dana. And I said, because you were there, and then it looked like Herb might have kind of stepped in to stop it.
Touched him.
Did he? I mean,
I'm not a doctor by any means. I think that fight should have been stopped in the third round. I'm a guy who has been around the sport for a long time and boxing and seeing men who are too tough for their own good. And I think Junior Dos Santos is one of those guys in the last Kane fight and in this Kane fight. And I think that fight should have been stopped. I just don't think he needed to take any more punishment. Yes, Junior Dos Santos hits hard. He's got a heart like Diego. And there's no need for a young, talented guy to take that kind of punishment when he's out on his feet. And I was kind of hoping somebody's going to throw the towel in or the ref was going to stop it. Or the doctor was going to stop it.
Right.
I mean, he had one eye was closed and the other eye was cut wide open. He was hurt. But listen, I'm not a doctor. So
last question, and sort of, I mean, now you say Kane's showing up. At first I was scared maybe he was, hurt as well. Here he is. Everybody clap it up for Kane. I was like... Perfect timing, so I can direct this at both of you guys now. I mean, it seems like Verdum's next in line for Kane. He does look a little bit battered and bruised. I know everything's still getting ironed out for New York.
Don't ask me when
New
it's going to
Jersey.
be. I have no idea when
I'm
it's
just
gonna
thinking, brother, the Super Bowl, nothing bigger than the Super Bowl except maybe two heavyweights going at it. If the timing works out, is that possibly something you look at?
Obviously, that would be great for me. Kane needs to go home, rest, heal up, and, we'll talk in a few weeks.
And Kane, now that you're here, can I just get the answer from you? I mean, did you think that fight should have been stopped in the third when it looked like Dos Santos was clearly out on his feet? And did you feel Herb Dean tap you and possibly be in the process of stopping the fight?
I didn't feel it. I'm gonna keep going until he just pulls me off. I didn't feel him tap me or anything. So just keep going with what I was doing, and that's it.
Do you think it should have been stopped in the third?
Well, he didn't stop it, so I guess not.
Kane would just beat him as long as they would allow him to.
Karyn, here, Troy Santiago, Fox Deportes. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the question in English and then in Spanish. If
Cool.
you can respond in Spanish.
Thank
better.
you.
Karyn, it looks like a deja vu, a flashback. Do you feel that? It's like, do you think it would be like that?
Yeah, we were getting ready for a fight like
In
that.
Spanish first.
Estamos listos para una pelea así, que él todo el tiempo se está mejorando con los codos, pegando primero. Queríamos otra vez ir adelante con la presión y sabíamos que él todo el tiempo se va a mejorar. I was definitely ready for a fight like that. I knew he was always getting better. The key for us was to hit first, and in some of those exchanges, he was hitting first, which made it difficult for us. The takedowns were more difficult. He obviously went back to the drawing board and fixed a lot of stuff. Made it hard for us, but I think that the thing that we worked the best on was to shorten up the punches. They don't have to be as wide, more technical on the punches, and they ended up landing, so it was good.
Perfecto, Karyn. Y bueno, el siguiente línea es Fabricio Verdum. ¿Qué esperas de él? Well, the next in line is Fabricio Verdum. What do you expect of him?
Es un peleador muy bueno, tiene muy buen stand-up, tiene muy buen jiu-jitsu. Tengo mucho respeto para él. Es un buen campeón también. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a good champion. He has good stand-up. He has good jiu-jitsu. So.
Thank you. Congrats.
Kane, I talked to you before the Mayweather and Canelo fight, and I asked you one question: what are you going to do different? And you said finish him. So, are you satisfied? Is this the most satisfying victory of your career so far?
Yeah, I'm definitely satisfied. Just hopefully no more excuses on his part. That's it. We don't look for the finish. We just look for keep putting the pressure on, keep doing what we're doing, and if the finish happens, that happens. But we're not looking forward.
And with going through this trilogy, will this help you be able to defend longer? Do you think you've learned from going the first go around what it takes to keep the belt for a long time and have a long reign like Anderson or John or somebody like that?
I think all the guys are tough. You know, everybody's tough. On fight night, we have to show up. We have to show up and perform, and that's it. You know, and given any day, you could lose. So you have to go out there, just you know, try your best and perform, and that's what it comes down to.
And last but not least, what wrinkles did you add this time that you haven't added in any of your fights, or was it the same strategy and you just were, cause like you were a relentless animal from beginning to end? Same
strategy, but yeah, going forward a lot, you know, putting that pressure on him. We knew that he would throw a lot more elbows. He would try to, you know, come out more aggressive, which he did. It did make it a lot tougher, you know, for us. The takedowns were harder, you know, just technically on the punches better, you know. Against the cage, it was a lot harder as well, trying to get those punches off. But when he kept me with that elbow, hold him up against the fence, I was throwing those elbows too, you know, and that's what made it a lot easier too.
Did it feel like the cage was going to give out? It looked like it was going to give out for a second there.
No, it didn't.
It came unhooked, and the guys were holding it. The guys were holding it. You guys were sitting right next to us. It came unhooked.
It felt pretty strong. I shot in, and my face just like went all the way through it, just like all the way down. It just slid. So that's from this. So it felt like it was definitely held up well.
Dana, question for you, or two questions for you. First one, can you give us your thoughts on Hector Lombard's debut at 170 pounds? And I looked at the Australia card; it looks pretty packed. Is there any room for him to be added there?
Yeah, no, he looked great tonight. Everybody looked great tonight. There's not a bad fight on the card. It's you know, Dan Lambert texted me right after the fight and said, "Come on, give him a fight in Australia. He wants to fight in Australia." And you know how Joe Silva is. That card's packed. He can't fight on that card. We'll see if we can squeeze him in on that card. We'll try to figure it out.
And just your thoughts on the ladies with Jessica making her debut. She's a 125-pounder, fought a 135er. Your thoughts on that bout and the final decision?
The thing that I loved about the women's fight tonight is, you know, there's always all this talk about how the women go in there and they just go crazy and they go after it. Tonight's fight was very technical. Both girls looked really good. Her jab was awesome. Great jab tonight. She used her jab well. I was telling her, you guys saw, going into in that third round, her face didn't have a mark on it with 2 minutes left of the fight, and she got hit with those couple of big shots. And she's got great stand-up, great chin, and I love that fight. I loved how technical that fight was and how good they both looked.
Question for Gilbert. Over here. You said after the fight, obviously, you wanted the title shot again. You know, you feel bad for TJ Grant, the position he's in, but do you feel like with that kind of fight, you know, fight of the year, fight of the decade, whatever you want to call it, that you have earned that shot?
I guess that's them for Dana to decide, but yeah, I thought it was a pretty impressive fight, and he said it himself that, you know, Diego's no slouch, you know what I mean? I didn't just beat a nobody. I beat a guy that I think is top in the division. I think, you know, I think I'm entertaining. I think the fans want it, and I think I have what it takes to beat Pettis, and I have beat Thompson twice. And yeah, with that said, I think I do deserve it, and I think I could beat both those guys.
And a question for Kane. Kane, this whole week leading up to the fight over here, you said you had a real sense of finality. You wanted to kind of close the door on this trilogy because everyone kept asking, you know, you and Junior fighting 10 times, you know, 8 times, whatever. Was that a big part of really going out there and putting on this performance to really just close the door? Because I got to imagine at this point, there's no other fight with you and Junior again.
Just focused on, you know, just winning. That was it, you know. Just using the game plan to win. You know, who's to say in 5 years we won't fight again or so, you know, but I think for a while it'll be done.
And a question for Jessica. Coming out in your debut, I don't think people gave Sarah Kaufman enough credit for what she's done. I mean, beating Miesha Tate, Alexis Davis, Liz Carmouche. How big is this win for you to come out and beat a fighter like that in your debut?
Well, I think everybody gave her a ton of credit. I actually felt like I was the underdog coming in here, so I felt like everybody expected me to lose against her. So obviously a win against her being number 2 in the UFC right now, I mean, that's a huge win for me and a huge step for females who want to step up to 135 and, you know that's the only place for them to go. So it's a huge win, and it's a huge fight for the whole women's division in general.
And one for John Dodson. John, another big win for you, another big knockout. You know, they talk about the flyweights coming out there putting on fights and finishes. Do you feel like that fight, you know, kind of separates you a little bit? You and Joseph have been the guys that have gone out there and really put fights away, and it seems like you guys have kind of separated yourselves as far as the powerful guys at 125.
Well, yeah, we're trying to make sure that we can prove everybody wrong by sitting there saying that we do have power, we can finish fights, and we're going to be the fastest and entertaining, well, besides these guys, fastest and entertaining fighters out there, you know?
Yeah, and just to follow up on a couple of things that you said, I agree with Jessica in that, you know, I'm not going to pretend that I know everything about the women's division. I don't know a lot about these women that are coming into the UFC now. And every question that I asked, everybody told me that Sarah Kaufman was too strong for her. Like, Jessica's good, she's, you know, but Sarah's too strong. And a lot of people thought Sarah should win that fight. And then on Melendez, you know, it's obviously very good for him that Pettis did win that fight. You know, because he just got done fighting Henderson, and it definitely puts him back in the mix for the title shot.
A question for Jessica. Can you talk a little bit about your strategy going in against Sarah and how it played out in the fight? And then also, where do you feel that the win over the number 2 ranked contender in that division puts you?
Really, my strategies never revolve around my opponent. They revolve around what I know I'm good at and what I know I need to execute. So in any fight, you know, win, lose, or draw, I take a look at my own performance and figure out why I didn't use certain tools that I've already been trained to use. So I'll go back to the drawing boards. I'll figure out why I didn't use my leg kicks more and why I didn't go for takedowns. And obviously with a win like this, I mean, I'm here now. I've been working a long time. I think that my fighting speaks for itself. I stuck with what I know best, and that's my boxing, because that's what comes easier. I guess it just gives everybody else and all the UFC audience, as well as Dana, to see what I'm really truly capable of. So I got 3 more opportunities to truly show what I'm good at.
And a question for, you showed a lot of kicks, a lot of different variations of kicks. Was that something that you implemented specifically for Roy, or is that just something that you're just opening up, you know, the more you progress?
Well, if you watch some of the older Strikeforce fights, I kicked more. My first UFC fight, I was very nervous, and I wasn't as comfortable in there as I would have liked to be. And tonight I felt more comfortable, so I was able to just do a few more things that I do normally in the gym, you know. So it's not something that I specifically wanted to do, but I just wanted to mix it up and kind of, I felt more comfortable, so I was able to do more things.
So, Dana, you lauded the Mexican-American fighters fighting in Houston. They really bring it. Look at Leonard Bad Boy Garcia and Roger Huerta back in 2007. And we saw Diego and Gilbert bring it tonight. And we have a champion tonight, too. Does this finally open the door to bring the UFC to Mexico, which is a large economy now? It's a top 12 economy. Are you eventually going to go down to Mexico?
Well, yeah, with Televisa deal and the UFC Network deal, I mean, we're already working on going down there anyway. We've been cultivating talent from Mexico. We've been working on Mexico for a while. And yeah, I think everything is coming together, and it's definitely time for an event there, and it's just a matter of figuring it out. It's time for an Ultimate Fighter there, too.
Could you see it supplanting boxing eventually?
Well, I can see us being number 2 to boxing for a while, like we are. Like Canada, boxing in Mexico is what hockey is in Canada. You know, boxing is very strong. Some of their greatest heroes of all time have come from boxing, and I respect that. I mean, I came from boxing too, and I love the sport. I don't hate the sport. It's always like there's this big battle between UFC and boxing. We can both coexist. I think we'll see a lot of the younger generation in Mexico becoming fans of the UFC. And I think we'll see a lot of talent coming out of Mexico, too, in the lighter weight divisions, just like we've seen talent coming out of Brazil.
Para Karyn Velasquez. Aquí. ¿Qué palabras le puedes decir a todos tus fanáticos? Hoy la mayoría de los fans te apoyaron en esta pelea. Y la segunda, ¿qué te parece la idea de pelear ante Fabricio en México?
Pues a todos los fans que estaban aquí, pues que me estaban apoyando, pues lo sentí cuando estaba peleando, que me estaban gritando que sí se puede y todo, pues me da fuerza para pelear y lo sentí ahí. Y me gustaría pelear con lo que sea, pero con Fabricio Verdum es un buen peleador y en México también, pues me gustaría, para mí es un sueño para pelear ahí.
We'll let that one slide.
Every time they do that, I just go, huh?
Question for Kane. Kane to your right here in the front. You seem to have smothered Junior a lot when you were on the cage, and I wonder if your corner was telling you at all maybe to back off a little bit to give yourself some punching room, because it seemed like you might have been able to stop him if you had some punching room.
Yeah, towards the I think into the second, towards the third. Yeah, they were telling me to do that more. Just getting them to the cage and working from there wasn't working as well as it did in the second fight. So they were telling me more, so I started doing it more to back up and just throw that 1-2 real quick and then, close the distance again.
And he hit you right off the bat with 2 punches. Did you feel those? Were they clean shots?
Definitely, he hits hard. Even if they miss, I just feel like he has a lot of power behind his punches. So yeah, I definitely felt it.
Question, Gil. All the talk of fight in Mexico City, that would seem to be a good place for you to fight for the title. Would you be willing to fight in Mexico if they offered you that shot?
Most definitely. I'd love to fight in Mexico. That or Cali would be great, but I would definitely step up for that, and I would love that experience.
And then can you and Diego both talk, in that flurry in the final round there, like, what is that like? I mean, you hear the crowd going crazy. I mean, I tweeted, I said, I don't think I've ever heard the arena louder during a fight, and then when that was going on. What was that like as you guys were in there, and is it adrenaline going up and up and up as that's happening?
Yeah, it's great, man. I've been there plenty of times. It's just unfortunate I haven't been on the UFC stage to do it. I've done that plenty of times in a lot of my fights. But yeah, it's just something you get lost in the moment. You don't want to back down. I like to step to the side, but I don't really want to back down. And it's just going for it at that time. It's just our style, I think.
Yeah, it's fun.
One more thing, real quick. Let me throw this in here. He wasn't here, so I didn't say it before. But Harley Davidson was the sponsor of the main event, and Kane won another Harley Davidson.
I want to say thank you to Harley. I want to say thank you to Dino. Been privileged to work with Harley for some stuff, and I love it. I love riding. I love the company. So thank you. Oh, Daniel wants a 3-wheel motorcycle, but I told him if he gets that, he needs to ride in the back. You got to ride in the back though. That's it.
Let me have this new one. Sidecar.
Yeah, sidecar for Daniel Cormier.
No, I want a 3-wheel bike like he's balling down, but he won't let me ride the front one. I made the name of the riding group. I named the riding group. Yes, I did. I named the group.
Very nice, guys. Dana, does a win in a fight like Gilbert had tonight, does that shorten his pathway to another title shot, or?
Yeah, I just talked about that. Where the hell were you 2 minutes ago?
I was going over my questions in my head.
Yeah, I said, it's obviously very fortunate for him that Pettis won, because he just came off a title shot against Henderson, and he definitely. I mean, Gilbert Melendez is one of the best in the world, and now that Pettis is the champ, he's definitely right back in the.
Can you talk a little bit about Gabriel's win, and could we expect a top 10 opponent for him next?
Gabe Gonzaga is one of these guys that every time he fights, something crazy is going to happen. I mean, Gabriel Gonzaga comes out and blasts or goes to the ground and pulls off amazing submissions. He's a scary heavyweight. He's been around here for a long time, and he's pulled off some amazing wins. He's a fun fighter to watch. And obviously it's always good when you win in the UFC.
Sticking with that topic, Gabriel, to your right, I wanted to ask you your thoughts on your fight, and do you have an idea of where you are in the division or what you would want next?
No, idea I don't have. I let this to the other guys responsible for that to evaluate better. I just go there and fight to my best. I did 11 finishes on the heavyweight division, getting tied with Frank Mir right now. So I was here in the UFC 66 too. So I go with the flow, trying to do my best, improve every time. That's it.
And along those same lines, you are a guy who's been in the UFC heavyweight division for a long time. Why do you think no one has ever defended the heavyweight title more than twice? I mean, obviously, guys hit hard in that division, but why has it been so difficult for a guy to have a long run in the heavyweight as a heavyweight champion?
Definitely, because the big guy, small gloves is really a tough to keep standing, and that's, I think, the most difficult division because the weight.
Was there ever a champion that you saw fight and you're like, this guy is going to be the guy who finally does it? Maybe it's Kane, or maybe it was Brock, maybe it was someone before then. Did you ever look at a guy and say, this is the guy who's going to win, 3, 4, 5 title fights in a row?
No, I didn't. Actually, on the mix, these divisions pretty much mix all the time. When I started, the division wasn't so strong. Right now, it's even stronger and stronger. So it's hard to keep with the belt for so long. I believe that.
Last one. In your opinion, is Kane, though, the best heavyweight that you have seen in your run with the UFC?
Yeah, right now I believe Karyn is the best on the game. He have the skills and he have the movements, everything the heavyweight need to have. So, yes.
For Hector, please. Obviously, congratulations on your win tonight. Can you tell us how you felt in your debut at 170 and how you felt your performance was tonight?
I feel great, and my performance was like. Do you see any wrong or any?
No, it would be tough to criticize a performance like that.
I mean, we always do, but I mean, yeah, I feel great. I think that Dana White and Joe Silva they were right on me going down to 170. And I feel that he knows. I do think that he knows more than anybody in the game because he's been around forever. So he made the sport what it is today. And yeah, he proved today that he knows what he's saying. Like you have to go to 170. So yeah, I did it.
There was some talk that maybe you might like to bounce between the divisions and still compete as a middleweight as well. With what you're saying, do you feel like welterweight is your permanent home, or do you feel like you would bounce back and forth?
Yeah, I would love to, but like I said before, it doesn't depend on me. It's up here. He's the one who called the shots.
I like him at 170. I don't like
go.
bouncing.
There you go.
Bouncing's bad.
There you go. You got the answer, Mike.
Yeah. And obviously, you and your camp are calling for you to get on that Australia card. I know how important it would be for you.
Yeah.
Is there a name that you have in mind as well? Or is it just a fight?
I'm not into any name or whatever. I just want to go up there and perform in front of my fans and in front of my son that lives in the same city, in Brisbane. And I mean, it would be like a dream come true. But like I said before, it doesn't. He's the one. Know me. Yeah. I would love to fight, but
Welcome to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We'll try to figure that out.
Kane, Dana mentioned that he thought the fight should have been stopped after 3 rounds, but I suppose what's salient here is whether Junior was still dangerous, whether you felt he was still dangerous in that 4th round, and whether he still carried the possibility of beating you.
Yeah, he's always dangerous, with his punching power. Yeah, you can never, put your guard down. Yeah, so he even in the 4th round and 5th round, he always felt dangerous.
Were there times in there, though, in those last kind of 6.5 minutes where you were thinking, what have I got to do to finish this guy?
No, I don't think that. Just, keep doing what I'm doing. And when I get back to the corners, just have my teammates and coaches just tell me what I need to do to do better out there.
And finally, a question for Jessica, Evil Eye. You talked a lot this week about how important this was in your life. Could you talk about the emotion that you felt coming into this, and perhaps how you feel now having kind of joined the UFC and your success tonight?
Well, I'm here now, so there's definitely a weight lifted off my shoulder. I just have to continue to prove why I deserve to be here, and I get 3 more opportunities. Hopefully I'll get more. This whole week has just been kind of a rush. It was different for me. I fought in other organizations. They they weren't like this. It wasn't their people around her. People that noticed that I was walking down the street. So it was cool, and I embrace it. Like, I love doing interviews. I love talking. I love being an ambassador. I just like being a good role model for fighting, a good role model for martial arts, and also the UFC too. So.
Take one more. Got one more? Anybody? Go ahead. Give him a mic. It's coming.
For you, Dana, the other Latino that did good tonight was Tony Ferguson. He's missing right now. Came back after 18 months layoff, won a bonus. With this push on Latino fighters and Mexican fighters, do you think it's time for Tony to get a high-profile fight or maybe go to a high-profile card?
Talking about Tony Ferguson? Yeah. So, you know, the earlier fights, the prelims, I sit in my room and I watch them and I come out during the main card. I literally got out of my room and walked out and met him when he came back through the curtains. I thought Ferguson looked awesome tonight. He put on a great performance, like you said, especially coming off a big layoff. And what was the end of your question? What?
Is it time for him to get a high-profile fight or a high-profile card?
I mean, he just got back. I mean, the kid, I'm a big believer in ring rust. He even said he had a little bit in the beginning. If that's ring rust, holy shit, right? I mean, I thought he looked phenomenal tonight. So we'll see. We'll see what's next for him.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. We love you, Houston. What an amazing night. And thank you to everybody on this card who came out and delivered. Amazing night of fights. Thanks for your support.